Today is the day I figure out where I'm going to set up my base. However, because I'm going to live in the end dimension, I first need to unlock a few more gateways. You see, there are 20 gateways that generate in the end that teleport to different parts of the outer islands, and I'd like to live in a spot that is near one of those teleporters. So first, we had to make a few ghasts cry, then craft up a number of end crystals. This allowed us to resummon the dragon, and with every kill, this unlocked a new gateway. A few Zedcrafters helped me unlock a number of gateways, and I managed to pick out where I wanted to live. It's officially moving day. I'm starting to pack things up into shulker boxes, because I've got a spot picked out in the end. And the very first thing I'm going to build there is a storage room. I've ended up with items in a few different spots in this base area. So I'm packing everything up. Oh, and to those of you who thought I killed the cats last episode, look, they are retired. And most of them survived the trip over here. Now, I will also need to figure out a way to get mobs into the end. Maybe I'll get some powdered snow and have like a soft landing spot, something like that. But I'm not too worried about that for now. I just want to get my storage sorted. Oh, I did manage to capture this zombie as well. He was burning up in the sun, and I managed to put a roof on him, trap him in a boat. I don't know if he can pick up items yet. I should probably check that. No, he can't. So he's not going to have a sword, but I may still use this guy for converting villagers. I have a lot of items on me, so let's get going. Let's head on in. So last episode I talked about the shaders in the end, and I do really like these, but if I just turn them off a moment, this is such a huge difference. You can see how even the yellow end stone actually ends up with this kind of purple tint to it. Everything's going to have a purple tint to it. So I think I might still use the shaders every now and then, but my goal will be to make a base that looks nice in vanilla. I'll probably swap between the two every time I'm building something, just to check out how things are looking. But I think for now I'll leave them off when I'm in the end, and we want to head northeast. And I believe it's this one that we want to go to. There may be one here, which ends up being closer to where I want to go, but this one works for now. And in we go. So this is the central void. This is where we come out, and we actually go straight north from here. So you see we've got this large area here. So this point here is probably the very centre of where I want to build. For now, I'm going to build a storage room on the end stone, and so I'm just going to set all of my stuff to one side. It feels so good having storage. This might not look like too much, but this is the storage layout I've used for the past 3 seasons. I like to have everything within like reaching distance from the centre. And I've never had a storage setup that is, redstone auto sorting, mainly because when other people talk about it, they talk about how it breaks all the time. I've seen the setups, and it usually ends up being this massive room where there's like a single double chest in every column, and everything's just so hard to get to, and it takes an hour to unload things, and it has its problems. It has its benefits as well, but yeah, I don't mind the control of sorting things myself. This took a while to put everything that I've got here, but yeah, I'm very glad to have this set up again, and I do want to use the mini blocks to decorate these, but there's quite a few blocks that I just don't have anything of yet, so I need to do some exploring and gathering blocks before I start on that. And the last thing to show you is my ender chest. I am very happy with this layout. It's a very similar layout to what I've used before. Rather than using like a rainbow colour decoration, I like to have the colours resemble the things that are in there. So like diamonds are blue, so we've got the blue shulker here. The redstone ones are red. Black is for like explosives, rockets and things like that. And it's very nice to just have everything within reach. So for the last couple of days, I've been thinking about how to remake Dodgebolt. Last season I made it using bows, but this season I was thinking of using tridents. That way the tridents would pass between the two sides and it would work a little bit closer to how the MCC version works. So we are back over here in my testing world because there's a redstone element to this game that I really want to figure out. I want the players to be able to put the two tridents, because there will only be two tridents active in the game at any point. I want them to be able to put the two tridents into this chest in the middle, push the start button for the next round, and then depending on the overall score of the game, I want these tridents to go different places. So for example, round 1, the score is, 0-0, 0-0. I would want each team to get 1 trident. So we could have a hopper here, activate the hoppers at the same time, and then one will go to the right, one will go to the left. That's nice and simple. But what I also want to do is, once one team is winning, so let's say the left team is winning 1-0, they won the first round, I now want both of these tridents to go to the team on the right. So that is, I think, how it works in Dodgebolt. The team that is losing get the advantage at the start of the next round. But if it's a tie, so if it's 0-0, 1-1 or 2-2, then I want an even split at the start of the round. So that's why I've opened up this world. I'm hoping I'll be able to figure something out. So I've just designed a little setup here. If I put the tridents in this chest, they don't carry through because both of these hoppers are being powered by the torches below. But if we turn off the torches at the same time, so you see the torches turned off, the tridents have now disappeared, and one should be in here, and one should be in here. So if we wanted to split the tridents every single time, this is all we would need to do. So you can imagine the arena as it is at this height. The trident will pop up here and the same on the other side. And then when the game is over, the players will return the tridents here, and then they will need to push a start button again to put the tridents back into the droppers. And then all we'll need to do here is have an observer chain triggering all of these. But I really want to figure this out first before I worry about how the droppers are going to work, because I think this part is a little bit, probably the more complicated part of the build. But now I want to include a system which recognizes the score of the game. Now the scoring is manual. Once a round is over, a player will just light a lamp. So the way this will work is the outside will be 1. So if it was 1-1, it will look like this. I'll probably label it with banners so that the player knows. And then this will be 2-1. This would be 2-2. And then this would be 3-2. Now the good news is, once a team reaches 3 points, the game is over. So we don't need any redstone coming out of these two at all. This is, as soon as one of these lamps is lit, the game is over, and when the next game starts, they will all be reset. So it is just the first 2, the outside 2 on either side that I need to worry about. And so what I'm thinking here in a general sense is I want the side with the strongest signal. So this is why I've done it outside in. So let's say we've got some redstone lines here. So the idea is the side which has the most signal, the most power, wants to be blocked. So if you imagine this power here leads to this line here, because this is bigger than that side, we actually want it to stop powering this, so that this gets powered and both tridents will end up there. right? So imagine this line, because this is stronger than this line, this will do something which cuts off that line, for example, and then now we push the button, only that torch goes off, and if we look in here, both tridents are in here. So I need to figure out something that will do what I just said. I'm sure there'll be comparators involved. Okay, so I think I'm understanding this. To start off with, what I've done is we've got essentially, this is like 0 points. So if this is 1, 2, and 3, this would be 0. So that we can always have a signal coming through here that can be compared. So at the moment, we have 0, 0. We have these two subtractions going on. So the signal that's coming in here is being subtracted by the signal here. So if the side one is bigger than the back one, we will get nothing out of here. The exact same thing is happening here, except it's the magenta side that's going into the back, and it is the blue side that is doing the subtracting. So it's the same setup as you can see. So currently, neither of these signals are on, and that is because it's 0 on this side, so the furthest power. So this is the lowest signal that the system will get. And over here, we have 0 again. It's not a power of 0, I just mean a score of 0. And so we have a signal strength of 5, and then 5 is being subtracted from that, so the output is 0. And we get that on both sides. But now, if we give a point to the blue side, the signal that is coming into here is now a power of 7, because this is 2 blocks closer. So the signal is now carrying through. We do have a signal here, and we still don't on this side. And then if we come over here and we make it 1 all, again, it's the same power on both sides, so this turns back off. Both of them are off. If we give the second point to magenta, this one now turns off for the exact same reason, and the blue is off. And then if we make it 2 all, both of them turn off again. And then, like I mentioned before, once a team wins and gets 3 points, we don't need to do anything with the redstone. So what I want to work on next is how this will actually connect to this system. Because what I want is, for example, I would want a piston here to push a block that blocks the redstone line to here. And then the very same thing with this blue one as well. So we might be able to do some kind of piston thing below. Yeah, if I actually do something like this. Right, if I send a signal through here, will it power the piston? No. Okay, that's good. So we want to imagine this is magenta and this is blue. And depending on which block is powered, because, let me just test this. Yeah. So when magenta is winning, the magenta block lights up and we want to block magenta. So you see how this now blocks the redstone from passing through. That's the feature that we want to make use of. And we will do the same thing over here. Let's actually use the coloured blocks so that it's nice and clear. And then we will want there to be some kind of redstone line down here. And I think we'll come out. I can tidy this up afterwards. I just want to make sure it works first. So I want the starting power to go both ways. So we want it to come here through the magenta, and then this will lead this way. We'll add some delay so that we can actually see it happening, right? So this power will come through here and will power this torch after 12 ticks, unless this block is powered. But then we want to take this signal and we want to come through here. Right. And then we will come out of here. It needs to be the exact same time on both sides so that the hoppers unpower at the same time. And then here we want the same thing. We will snake this down. As things currently stand, Magenta are in the lead. They are winning 2-1. This block is powered. So when I push this start button, what I want to see happen is that torch to go off, but this torch to stay on. The tridents are in the chest, and I want both of them to go into this dropper here. So let's give it a try. There we go, that torch turned off. And if we come over here, we can see both tridents are in the dropper. Perfect. And then the torch turns back on. Let's test it the other way. Let's remove both of these. You can see that block has pulled up. That one has pushed down. And we will do the same thing again. We can see that one turned off. And then if we come look here, both tridents are in here. So I think, other than the dropper chain, I think we have designed all the redstone here. So this fall is 23 blocks. It shouldn't kill me. It should take me down to half a heart. And then I will heal up to maybe 3.5 hearts. And then we're going to see if a trident will actually kill me. Okay, it's gone to 4. Maybe because I ate something before I fell. I think when you respawn, you go to 3.5 hearts. So this... Okay, so there's a problem here. Okay, that didn't quite work. But that is actually perfect for the test. Because now I have respawned and I should fully... this should work how I expected. So I should fall and then get back up to 3.5 hearts. What an amazing first death. Right, let's give this another go. So we fall down, half a heart. We should heal up to 3.5, and that issue that we had probably means we might need players to die before playing the game, just so that everybody is on like the same saturation. Everybody will be on the same amount of hearts. Nobody will have eaten like 2 golden carrots before jumping down or anything like that. So there we go. That worked as expected. We're at 3.5 hearts. We're 1.5 hunger down, so we're not going to get any more hearts. And now she will see me nod, and then she's going to kill me with the trident. Perfect. So yeah, we will probably need to have a way to kill players before they play the game. Then they will maybe walk along a platform, drop down, take 9.5 hearts of damage, and then they are ready to play the game. We will obviously need a way for the last player, the winner or the winners, to travel back up. But yeah, I think this is a good height. I think this will work quite well. So I tested the trident to see if it would kill me. But I forgot about one of the main mechanics, the fact that the trident needs to pass to the other team. And as you can see here, I cannot pick up a trident thrown by another player, which is a huge mistake considering that's the entire point of the game. But I did come up with a workaround. We can use piercing crossbows. With the same redstone, we can pass 2 arrows to either side, and the only real difference is every player needs to enter with a crossbow. We use piercing so that the arrow does not get destroyed, and as a bonus we can kill more than one player with the same shot. Now I've decided I want to try and make some harming arrows. Now when you make arrows this way with Dragon's Breath, you typically get 8 arrows per potion, I believe, and that's obviously not enough to really do anything with. But in this game, we only need 2 arrows. So I'm absolutely fine going through the efforts here to make the potion. Let's just hope I remembered the right ingredients here. Well, this obviously doesn't work the way I thought it did. I'm going to actually have to look this up. Hold on. Oh, I just need to make it a splash potion first. This is a lot of steps. Okay, so if this works how I think it does, I can now place this in the middle, place arrows around the outside, and there we go. Instant damage to arrows. We're back here in Willy World, and as you can see, we have lots of new games starting to pop up. Most of them are unfinished, but it's great to see so many things develop so soon in the season. And I've built up Dodgebolt a little bit here. I decided to stick with the Prismarine theme, even though we're not going with tridents. But I do like this dark green versus light blue setup that we've got here. And I know it looks like a face, but I'm not sure how to avoid that, so I think I'm just going to accept the face down there. Firstly, I think I want to have an elevator around here so that if I just come down here, so once the game is over, you can turn the lamps off and then the players need some way to leave. So I think we'll probably have a doorway here that goes into a bubble vator. We also need to have an elevator down to the glass layer so that people who are watching can stand on the glass up here. So you see, currently people can just drop in and then they're on the glass. I think this is perfect for watching the match. People can stand around the outside and look in. But I do think I want some kind of elevator here for that as well. So probably the same elevator up. Maybe I'll do it behind the lamps here. And then we'll have a drop chute down that will take you just to this level. But what I'm going to work on now is the sign. Now, because the lettering of the word dodge was odd and the build itself is even, I decided to make the first D letter 4 blocks wide. And because I connected the L and the T, I had the same issue with bolt. So I did the same thing with the letter B. I did also make the T into a little arrow design. I was tempted to do more with that, like maybe have the arrow go through the letter dodge, but I didn't like how that looked. So I decided to keep it simple. Now, those Prismarine blocks were originally there just as scaffolding, but I do quite like the idea of it being underlined. Okay, ignoring all the floating blocks, I do think that looks better, because it looks like it's pinned to that archway, and then you get to see the shadow underneath. Let's try it without the shaders. A little bit less impressive, but I still like that. So I've done a little bit more work now, and the game is basically done. We've got an entrance area here with some lockers on the side, and beds, because you do die in this game. We've got all the supplies we need for the game itself, and some instructions that I still need to write. The players will come up here. We've got the 2 different teams, where the players can drop down into the arena. But I've also added this spectator drop down, which takes you just onto this glass platform here. You can also see I've added some number banners here. This is because the lamps do need to be lit in a certain order for the redstone to work properly. So we have this exit here, which is also the same exit from the game area itself. So if we come over here, we have a drop down. You land in the arena. You will have a crossbow ready to play. And there's 2 arrows to start off with here. Just to show you the mechanic again, if I push this button, we should see 1 arrow pop up on either side. There we go. The last thing I probably want to do is add some kind of note blocks to the start, because it is like a couple of seconds of suspense. And then we have this exit here, which takes you back up to the top. So it's a very simple setup, all of this. I do like to have my instruction areas be as simple as possible. I don't care that much for decorations, I just want players to get to the game and know exactly how the game works, where to grab their supplies, where to drop off their gear, and all that. And I did also get rid of the first arch, so we just have the arch at the back. So I do want to run a test of this game. I might see if there's some players online now who will give it a go with me. So now we're going to give it a real test. So he's got both arrows now, maybe in 2 different crossbows. There we go. Ah! So now we just try and survive. We shouldn't cross paths. We've got all the time in the world now. Really put them under pressure. Oh, good shot. No, I missed. So Addi now has both. We need to watch out here. Now, can we shoot Addi here? We can. Oh, I love this game already. It's so fun. That was very close to getting both of us. Yes! Nice one. Yes! Oh, that is what I want from having the piercing and crossbow. Okay, so they're going to get both arrows. It worked. And now we look them in the eyes. Maybe I'm going to take my time with this one. Really put the fear into them. Wait for them to try and load. Oh, I love this game. Oh, he dodged. Yes, good shot. Good shot. If you've not watched my previous 2 videos, the Colourlympics is a little idea of mine for this season, where I design farms and resource gathering projects in a way where 8 colours can compete. And before I go through today's results, I'd like to show you this little fan shop that I have made. So I created these 8 banners here. I mostly found these designs online and just changed the colour. And players on the server can come over here and purchase one of these banners. Now, somebody did buy with diamonds, but we actually run on a pay-what-you-want system. Some have received no diamonds and some more interesting items. That's obviously much more valuable than a diamond. So it'll be very interesting to see what items the colours collect across the season. I do think I'll build a bigger shop for this later in the season. As you can see, we do have some bigger shops starting to pop up. This area is just like a starter shop area, but as you can see, looming in the distance, we have some impressive builds here already. And now on to the results. So we haven't made any new farms this episode, but I have been leaving the sheep farm running whilst I've been AFKing at the creeper farm, so we can check the scores of these 2. And I have already gone through this chest and sorted all the wool. I've also stopped any more wool from coming through. And if we look here, we can see the results. So they've all done pretty well. They've all managed at least 4 stacks in the time that I've been AFKing. But we can see here, pink gets first place very impressively, orange gets second, and yellow gets third. Blue and red, who have been doing so well in this tournament so far, came last and second last. So there's been a nice mix-up this time, and it's good to see 2 new sheep on the scoreboard getting medals. So now I'm over here at the creeper farm, and I'm going to count up the sticks in the shulkers. I think we'll start with lime and go around clockwise, and I'll do it a little bit quicker than last time. Lime scored 286, yellow scored 369, orange scored 298, red scored 453, pink scored 376, purple scored 312, blue scored 535, and cyan scored 329. Now blue got second place last time and absolutely crushed it this time, getting that gold medal. Red, who came first last time, got second place, and pink, who was fifth last time, managed third. Now because the scores were so similar to last time and the results so similar, I was wondering if the farm was maybe set up in a certain way where certain areas of the farm would be more popular than the other for creepers to spawn. Because my goal when setting these up is to try and create the most fair environment. Certain things will happen where, like, I'm over in a certain part and I'm only loading half of it, but I did try to avoid that as much as I can. And if you look here, this is the chunk boundary. So we can see that slightly more than half of the farm is in this chunk here, and then the rest of it is in this chunk. So score-wise, I would expect either these two to score very low, or the other side to score very low. But we've got blue here, who was the winner, and we've got red here, who came second, and they did well the first time round. And then I was thinking maybe it's something to do with the outside or the inside shulkers, because the tripwires that are on the outside might be activated sooner or for longer when the creepers fall down. But again, the red here is on the inside, and the blue here is on the outside. So I actually think those colours just did well by chance. Or, you know, because those colours are the best colours. But yeah, I don't think the farm is built with any bias, so I will continue using this. Whenever I've been AFKing here, we will count up the sticks. So now let's have a look at the overall table. We had a three-way tie last time between yellow, blue and red, but now blue has comfortably taken the lead, with red in second place and yellow third. However, pink had the best performance of the episode, getting medals in both events, giving them their first overall points and shooting them up into fourth place. Orange is now tied with cyan, and green is the only colour without a single medal. Will that change in the next episode? Stick around to find out. But before we finish, let's talk about the connections game. This is the puzzle from last episode, and it was a little bit trickier than the one before it. To start with, we had a simple category of carapaces. I'm going to hope I'm saying that correctly. Basically different types of shells. And then we had things to do with enchanting. Now here we are left with 5 fishing items, and that's why this puzzle was so tricky. We also had a nautilus shell, which can be caught by fishing, and we had an enchanted book, which kind of fits with the green category. So this one was a little bit tricky. Now the other reason it was tricky is the purple category, which is how you can figure out which one of these fishing items is not part of the fishing category, was a very cruel category. Items with eyes. Now you may be saying, raw cod must have eyes. Well, unfortunately, cod only have eye, whereas a pufferfish very clearly has eyes, along with these other 3 items. I'll try to make sure the next one isn't quite as tricky as this, because this did feel a little bit unfair. And just to confirm, we have things you get from fishing. And so here we have the third puzzle. Remember, you can click the link in the description to open up this website. It's free to play, and I love that people are playing it. It's always good to hear how people did. So the clues this time round are ender pearl, punch, shaking, rolling, heavy core, density, gassed tear, frostwalker, sneezing, falling, breeze rod, fire aspect, blaze rod, knockback, hiding, and magma cream. And there's just a couple more things I will say on this. One person did let me know that you can actually solve all of these in one go if you think you can figure out all 4 of the clues without submitting one. This is almost like you're giving yourself a bit of a hard mode. I didn't realise this when I first started using this website, someone just let me know, which is a cool feature. And the other thing I would say is you are welcome to use whatever resources you want. If you want to use Minecraft.wiki, I recommend it. I actually use that when writing the puzzle. If you want to collaborate with people, offer tips, whatever, help each other out. If that's what you want to do and how you want to play it, that is absolutely fine by me. This is just meant to be fun. That's all it is. It's just meant to be fun. Thank you all for watching. Now, I keep thinking the next episode is going to be shorter than the previous one, and they keep ending up being over 30 minutes long. So I'm not too sure how that happens, but we are going to end this one with an experiment. You see, I'm out in the end, and somebody placed this respawn anchor here. And as far as I understood, these don't work in the end. But I figured we might as well try and find out, right? So let's see if this works in the end. And there we have it. We've made a minigame and we've done some science. I call that a successful episode. Thank you all for watching.